Draft says this, reporting, title of the vid, game developers ordered to avoid creating curvy female characters. Let's find out what's good.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to return to another discussion about the design of female video game characters, because recently we've seen a very concerning set of statements coming from Microsoft directing their developers to avoid making female video game characters with curvy aesthetics. Now, this is something that is concerning because that's not something that gamers want to see, and people have been praising more curvy and attractive female character designs like that of Eve from the upcoming release of Stellar Blade. However, speaking of very attractive and quite nearly irresistible designs, guys, it's time to check out my new official Rev Fumo that is live the minute this video has been released. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, just in time seats on full display right here, looking smug with the bunny ears. A great combo as always, and with makeshift, you know the quality is top of the line. Now, returning to the topic for today. So recently there's been a lot of discussion about female character types in terms of their design, and a lot of people have been praising Stellar Blade because they are featuring what a lot of gamers want, and that is an attractive female main protagonist. And the developers and the directors from Shift Up, the studio responsible for Stellar Blade, have been unapologetic about their focus on the attractiveness of this character and also fan service shots of this character. They want to create something that gamers want to see, something that is beautiful. Now, of course, Cabrutus here gives us a very helpful walk into today's main topic. Which way, Western man? Do you want to go with the attractive design of characters like Eve from Stellar Blade, or do you want this disturbing new standard that apparently is going to be more of the mainstream moving forward? Now, what is this standard? Well, let's check it out. It is covered in this tweet stating.
Microsoft says something about curvy female characters. What about the male characters, though? Do they get emotionally sexualized? Like vampires, right? Like, that's emotional sexualization, right? Like, what is this double standard? Meow.
Microsoft urges developers not to create female characters with exaggerated body proportions.
But then you have exaggerated emotional scenarios for the dudes. Like, what? Hello? What's wrong with that?
On their official site to support game devs, site is titled as Product Inclusion Action Help Customers Feel Seen. Holy moly, that sounds like something that would be a conference at the latest game developers convention that was hosted in California last week. This is the epitome of woke. This is game developers and their bosses basically telling you that these character designs like Eve and the real life woman she's based on are something that is exaggerated and unrealistic and something that should not be shared with gamers.
I think this is just like offensive on its face.
That is made to solely impress woke developers and their bosses, not gamers who actually appreciate designs
like whether you're a girl gamer or a guy gamer, it's just offensive.
Who only a few weeks ago on their official Xbox account was pounding after sexualized male character designs. However, we've seen this policy in action from Microsoft over the years, at least in regards to female video game character designs. We've seen how Cortana has been changed over the ages from a more curvy design to what we see.
That's that. They may not know better, right? So I'm always down to give people the benefit of the doubt there. I don't really see a reason how they could actually know about what the people want when they're at the drawing board figuring out, okay, so how can we make a change for the better in the world? Well, sometimes you make a change for the worse, trying to cobble together a change for the better at the drawing board.
Here from the latest release.
Like, what would you like to see? Well, if they ask themselves that, I think they would have a good shot at actually putting together something that's gonna be popular and good. But they could also just ask people or look at studies of how people emotionally react to playing as a pretty or not so pretty character. And so as far as I know, these studies tend to show people tend to actually emotionally have a better time with a prettier character as the character they play.
In 2021. Now, moving forward, Niche Gamer would make an article capturing this entire situation, stating Microsoft cautions developers to avoid curvy female video game characters. Story below. Now, if you check out the article, it says this. The site titled as Product Inclusion Action Help Customers Feel Seen includes a bullet list of considerations they urge developers to make when working on their products. One Twitter...
Maybe helping them feel seen would involve having advocacy for labor struggles. I don't know. But maybe they don't want to touch that one.
User pointed out the language expressly condemning certain female characters as reinforcing negative gender stereotypes. Now let's see that tweet in question. It says this. This is from Microsoft's new Gaming for Everyone production inclusion framework. This is the song that doesn't end. It's been like 10 years and they're still complaining about video game boobs. You can see this actual quote saying, are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? Here's the bullet points. Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your code or design? Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in skill and ability to their male peers? And highlighted, are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their tasks? Do they have exaggerated body proportions? And going forward, when the story allows, do you show male characters who display a full range of emotions, including joy, sadness, and vulnerability? Now, of course, we see the most important section about this exaggerated body proportions. Now, here is a slow-mo provided of Eve from Stellar Blade. Now, would they consider this to be exaggerated body proportions? Likely based on the design of this character and the kind of woke terminology that they're using at Microsoft, it probably does fall under these exaggerated body proportions. Sure. However, as most of you are probably already aware since we've covered it on this channel, the design of Eve is based on a real-life Korean model. They made a 3D scan of this model. So quite literally, it is a realistic body type. And they'll probably label something like that as unrealistic because that's the way people like Microsoft a pretty person, right? So, now, moving forward, we've seen some other examples of companies like Pokemon Go doing some ESG-approved moves as they have added more options for characters like this. So let's read this tweet. Pokemon Go company is ESG approved. 2024 changes. Change the viscerocranium of the female. Remove chest. Modify hip. Expand chin. Broaden their shoulders. Delete makeup. The industry has been pushing androgyny, specifically oriented to male features for years. They hate women. So here's the before and after, of course, making this character much more boxy looking and really just kind of bland looking. And this is real. It's a part of their testing app, and changes will depend on feedback from social media. It's not made up, and depending on your location, you might see these options or not. Now, that is very curious. It's very odd and really eyebrow-raising to people like me when these changes are being only introduced to certain regions. Now, is it better than a global release like we've seen with other changes in censorship? Maybe, but it's also very nefarious that they are just picking and choosing regions to apply these changes to without even fully disclosing where these regions are. But moving forward, if you look at the actual website that Microsoft is promoting,
now the good thing with that stuff is that you can figure out, okay, so this company, they don't care for your daily struggle at work and whatnot, so it's easy to just ignore them. So,
You can see some of these quotes on here that are very, very odd. So they say this right here. 80% of media consumed by the world is created in the United States, and yet most media, including video games, doesn't contain characters and content that align to that broad consumer. And you can see some statistics that they cite down here. 50% of players in the broader gaming market didn't play certain games because the games weren't made for them. Over
80% of media is consumed by the world, is created in the US. Okay, do I get that right? What about the doujin scene in Japan? I don't know. I think this may be in terms of sales volume, which is a bit of a misleading figure, right?
For half of the global gaming market. 53% of developers felt diversity in storytelling should be a priority and was ranked as the third most important factor in industry growth. 41% of retail consumers have shifted 10% or more of their business away from brands that do not reflect their own value in diversity and inclusion. Now, that's very odd because we know...
Convenient, is it not? Maybe it's other reasons that people are moving away from these things.
That a lot of very successful games have not relied on the race of the character even being relevant. Think about Halo, for example, okay? Let's talk about Xbox-related games. The reason Master Chief was so beloved for many, many years was because nobody knew the identity of Master Chief. Everybody related to the character because that character could be anyone. It could be them, it could be someone else, it could be this skin, this type of skin, or whatever. It didn't matter because it was Master Chief. You believed in the character. And despite what the Paramount Plus show might do by revealing the identity of Master Chief, that's one of the reasons why that character was so beloved and so popular for so many years. And I don't really believe a lot of these statistics, and really, that's fair to say because a lot of these studies right here that are used as references have been openly memed on and criticized for many years. And that's pointed out in this thread right here. So based on some of these statistics shared in those studies, as this user points out, this study, if the numbers are correct, would mean that 20 million gamers have been swatted as...
For one, anything that you don't think of, that you do want to actually control for as an alternative explanation, tends to just not feature, and so you get these wild numbers because you actually just remove from the equation the actual reasons for things to happen because you didn't think of them and control for them. Happens.
Results of X, Y, or Z. Basically the toxic gaming culture. That doesn't seem to add up.
That's
there's
fair.
Some very extreme circumstances like that happening. But really 20 million gamers have had this happen. I don't really believe that. It makes me question a lot of these statistics and studies that they're citing at Microsoft. But moving forward, we see some very positive things. This is an actual clip involving the Shift Up director here. So you can see this is an interview asking them basically what their goal is as developers. What are they trying to create with their games and what is most important to them? And this will give you some faith in an industry that is definitely going backwards.
독창성, 새것, 재해석. 그러니까 답습하지 않겠다는 거고 양산형이 되지 않겠다는 거잖아요. 그 마인드 자체로도 되게 희망적으로 들립니다. 자, 김영태 대표님에게 게임이란 무엇인가요?
What is a game to you?
저한테 게임은
Me game is everything.
모든 것.
Everything.
저는
I have no
게임을
hobbies other than
만드는
making
것에
games.
취미가 없습니다.
That's some
게임 개발
passion.
덕후다.
그래서 게임을 하는 것보다도 만드는 것에 더 재미를 느끼고 있고요. 그래서 제 인생의 모든 것이기 때문에 허투루 할 수 없는 그런 것이 바로 저한테는 게임이지 않나 싶습니다. 가장 즐거운 순간이죠.
즐거운 순간.
He's having fun with
미국과
it.
이렇게 모든 걸 쏟아부을 예정입니다.
Alrighty.
So I don't think it's very
game that's
surprising
having
that the
fun
product they
making
are working
games
on and
sounds
shipped
good,
up, Stellar
sounds
Blade,
good.
is a product that is reflecting some very good intentions behind the directors creating it. It is something very positive. There is a reason why people are so excited for Stellar Blade. It is providing content that gamers want that reflects the wants of the directors and developers, and this is a cohesion of those wants and needs, and it's
I mean, to be fair, Ref is probably the only person who I ever hear talking about this game, so I wonder what's up with that.
exploding in popularity. It shouldn't be that surprising. It's a simple formula. Give gamers what they want and be passionate
be a good
about
game.
providing those needs. And that's exactly what Shift
Looks
Up
promising.
is doing. And that's why so many people are excited about this upcoming release. But of course, this whole situation is very odd. To see the standard of avoiding curvy female characters by Microsoft is concerning, to say the least, and something that is reflective of a lot of issues going on in the gaming industry. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always,
Alrighty, well, concerning, well, I think this is all going according to what you would expect. The market is gonna punish problematic decisions. But so that is a bad surprise that Microsoft is putting out these statements like that in a way, but then at the same time, they could be double dipping. They could say this, but then totally have other things cooking, you know? Like, don't count out Microsoft. They know how to cater to the gamers and people of the world, and it's not necessarily reflected in the PR statements they put out. You can do three things at once, you know what I mean? Like, get the ESG money, make good games, and make a lot of money, you know? So, anyway, that was a good one. Hope you enjoyed the vid as well. Do leave a like over at Ref Says This. I will link the vid below. Leave a like, etc. over here too. Rate, comment, subscribe, do share. And I hope you have a good one. Stay safe out there. Meow.